Yo, 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 what it do? Team K here, back for part 4 of my Blu-ray collection. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna ramble on today. Have nothing to talk about. I do have a lot of stuff to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it. Just want to get right into this shit. You know what I mean? Fuck what's going on in my life. Anyways, start off with Hot Fuzz. This is part of a trilogy called the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, also is known as the Cornetto trilogy, however you want to call it. And Hot Fuzz, really, really fun movie. It's like a comedy movie or parody film rather, where they make fun of action films and stuff like that. And this movie is really, really fun. Not quite as good as the movie that preceded this, Shaun of the Dead, but still really nice, if you ask me. Then we got Dog Day Afternoon, starring Al Pacino, and a movie that is directed by Sidney Lumet. Here it says, Dog Day Afternoon. Yeah, man, really great film. It's about a bank robbery that goes horribly wrong, and shit just unfolds from there, And Al Pacino, bro. Al Pacino, he was on a roll back then, man. Like, I think this one came out in between The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2. And even after that, just Al Pacino continued to do amazing movies, a string of amazing films. And, yeah, man, Al Pacino back then was a force, man, Also, this one directed by Sidney Lumet, who also did movies like Serpico. I think he also did 12 Angry Men, if I remember correctly. Yeah, man, this is some good shit right there, man. Love that movie, Dog Day Afternoon. Then we got a revenge film, I Saw the Devil. One of the greatest revenge films ever made. I'm serious. Like, when people ask me about a hidden gem or underrated movie, this is usually one of the first movies that I mention, because this is just phenomenal stuff, bro. You know what I mean? Revenge movie with some horror elements in there. Totally insane acting by Choi Min-sik, but Lee Byung-hun, as this reserved cop, he's also fantastic. Movies directed by Kim Ji-won, which y'all know already, is one of my favorite directors. At least from South Korea. And yeah, I Saw the Devil it's just crazy, man. Like, if you want to watch a really, really amazing revenge movie, and if you can take, screw some violence and a lot of blood and gore, then this will be a nice, hidden gem for you too. You know what I'm saying? Because this movie is just absolutely bonkers, bro. It goes in directions that, that will make your head go like, oh my god, this fucking movie right here, man. Love this shit, bro. I Saw the Devil, such great film. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those movies that really show you how far one can go when that person is pushed enough, you know what I'm saying? And this shit is just, this is just totally insane, man. Then we got Inception, Christopher Nolan film. Of course, we all know Christopher Nolan by now. I consider Christopher Nolan like a filmmaker's filmmaker, if you know what I mean, but in the mainstream, because he does these really unique and creative movies in the mainstream that nobody does nowadays, you know what I'm saying? And Christopher Nolan, there was a point in time where he did a lot of mindfuck movies, this being one of the movies that are like multi-layered or have some sort of twist to them where you really have to turn on your brain meat to follow along. And Inception was just one of those movies, man. Really, really, really amazing film, And also what I love about Christopher Nolan, practical special effects. Watching this movie, you'd think to yourself, they used a lot of CGI. Nah, bro. Christopher Nolan is like a classic filmmaker, you know what I'm saying, where he relies a lot on, you know, practical special effects. He just wants to make his movies look amazing and realistic, you know what I'm saying. Uses very little CGI, which is pretty crazy, because nowadays everybody resorts back to using CG, you know. I mean, it's, if that's their prerogative, fine, but me, I like me some good special effects, and you know, Christopher Nolan, he gives me that shit, and I really appreciate that, you know what I mean. Then we got a series of movies, and it's a series of martial arts movies actually. Ip Man. I love me some Ip Man. This a story about, of course, the master of Bruce Lee, and in this movie starring Donnie Yen as Ip Man. Bro, these movies have some amazing fighting. Like, I was never really aware of the fighting style Wing Chun. You know, never really knew what it was up until I watched this movie, and then I was like, bro, that fighting style is really really interesting. You know what I'm saying? Especially the way Donnie Yen uses his style, or the Wing Chun style, to fight off his enemies and shit. Crazy, you know what I mean? And yeah, the first Ip Man, really incredible film. You know, it's about a movie. The movie is about Ip Man, you know, who lost everything because of the tyranny of the Japanese, you know, and yeah, the movie is very empowering, you know, and very sad, very emotional in some parts, you know what I'm saying, but really love this film, you know, for the action, the story, the whole package is great. Ip Man 2, it's more along the lines of the first one, you know, except that the main villain in this is not a Japanese, it's like a British boxer, I think it's a British boxer, yeah. And this movie also fantastic, you know what I mean? Not quite as good as the first one, but I like it. Ip Man 3, the movie that is most known for having Mike Tyson as one of the antagonists in the movie. Don't remember too much of this one. I have to watch it again. It's been a while, but I remember kind of liking it. And then we got Ip Man 4, which is also a great conclusion to the Ip Man story. The only thing I don't like about it is the main villain, like a Russian military guy played by Scott Adkins, who was absolutely terrible in this movie, you know, because he was just overacting his ass off, and I was kind of tuned out by his performance, but still was a great conclusion to the story. Really like the series as a whole. I think all of these 4 movies are fantastic in my opinion, so it's definitely worth watching in my book. Then we got Jacob's Ladder, one of my favorite psychological thrillers of all time. I think the movie is highly underrated. Nobody really talks about this one, but to me, this is a fantastic psychological thriller, man. You know, because it's all about a movie. This movie is about a guy who comes back from Vietnam. What the fuck is going on with me today, man? I cannot speak. This movie is about a guy who comes back from Vietnam, from the Vietnam War, and you know, the guy, you know, as he walks through New York, I believe, you know, he starts to experience all these crazy things, you know, these crazy illusions and all that stuff, and it's like this movie is about the PTSD and descent into madness, you know, with a war veteran, and then, you know, the ending just completely blew me away, bro. Like, I'm not gonna spoil what happened, of course, you know, you have to experience for yourself, man, but the ending of this movie, didn't see it coming, bro. Not at all, man. Not at all. Then we got Rambo. The fourth Rambo movie in Germany is called John Rambo because unlike the American titles in Germany, they just titled them the first three Rambo movies: Rambo 1, Rambo 2, Rambo 3. In this fourth one, they titled John Rambo. But that's the really just Rambo, the 2008 movie. Great film. This is the movie where Sylvester Stallone kind of took it back to the original again, made this one more realistic, and then a little bit less about the action, because Rambo 2 and 3, they were just straight up action movies, without the commentary and shit. And this movie took it back to the first one. This one is super brutal, bro. Once again, not a movie for the faint-hearted. This one has some gruesome violence in there. If you don't like it, then probably don't watch it. But for me, I thought that movie was really, really, really great. And I also appreciate the message in it. Such a great film. And then, once again, we got another series of movies. We got John Wick. Which when it first came out, people kept talking about it. I was like, man, why are people so crazy about John Wick and shit? And a few years down the line, I watched the first John Wick, and I was floored, bro. I thought the first John Wick was just incredible, bro. Like, the action in this is just insane, man. Such great action in these films, especially because Keanu Reeves, he does a lot of the action himself. He doesn't have a stunt double and shit. He's like a little bit like Tom Cruise in a way, where he just does his action and stunts himself, and I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? And John Wick is just too good, man. Too good. If you want to watch some great current action movies, watch the John Wick films. They will blow you away, man. They will blow you away. Then we got John Wick 2, which is a lot of people's least favorite, as far as I'm aware. But for me, this is one of my absolute favorites in the series. I think John Wick 2 is also phenomenal. Once again, action is just amazing, And yeah, my boy, Common Sense or Common, is also in there, man. Shout outs to him. Then we got John Wick 3, another phenomenal film. A film that kind of dragged on a little bit, but had some incredible action in there. Love it. And then we got John Wick 4, the conclusion to the series. Ended it on a really high note, in my opinion. Some people were disappointed by it, but I think the series ended really, really well. And gave John Wick a great send-off, if you ask me. Then we got a very underrated film, Joker. This is a movie. It's like a DC movie, but not your typical comic book film. You know what I'm saying? Because this one is a little bit more grounded, but still. Just such a great film, man. Like, this movie, I would say it's like a more of a drama than a comic book movie, But this is a different twist on Joker, and it's fucking amazing, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, really great. I'm also looking forward to the next one, the second Joker film. So looking forward to that one. I'm ready for that shit. I'm really ready for that one, because this one was phenomenal. And then we got the hood movie classic, Juice. Came out in 1992. This was Pac's debut as an actor. I think around the same time he also released his Tupacalypse Now album. But yeah, obviously he did this one, I think, before he started working on Tupacalypse Now, and this movie is just great, It's like a hood movie with a little bit of horror in there, you know, because once Tupac gets that fucking gun, he just goes apeshit, bro. He goes lunatic on on his three friends, you know. Really, really fantastic movie, man. You know, just for Tupac alone, bro. Like, Tupac's performance in this was second to none, bro. I love this fucking movie right here. Very nostalgic for me, you know what I mean? Because, like, in the mid-2000s, you know, when I visited my cousin, you know, he allowed me to download some movies off of the internet, and this was one of them that I downloaded. And, yeah, man, and I watched the movie so many times. This one actually helped me learn some English, you know what I'm saying? Because I actually wanted to understand what they said in the movie. I'm from Germany, you know, and back in the mid-2000s, I was like 12, 13 years old. Pretty young, you know what I mean? And this was one of those movies that really helped me learn some English, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, moving on, we got Karate Kid. Also, the only Karate Kid movie I have in my collection. I actually need to get the other ones, Karate Kid 2 and 3. Don't need the remake. But this Karate Kid right here, man, great film. This is once again one of those movies that are very nostalgic to me. This one especially, you know, this and Space Jam. I have really fond memories of these movies being on free TV in the Sunday morning program, you know, where when I grew up, and whenever this one came on, or Space Jam or movies like that, you know, I let it roll, you know what I mean? And this movie is just so good. Great 80s martial arts film, you know, Americanized martial arts film, I should say. Yeah, classic. Love it. Definitely love it. Great coming of age film. You know, dope little fighting in there. You know, of course, Pat Morita, also great as Mr. Miyagi. Cannot go wrong with that one. Just like this, you can never go wrong with John Woo and his Hong Kong films. And The Killer is my favorite movie of his. I know a lot of people love Hard Boiled. You know, this is the one that people usually go for when they speak about, you know, John Woo. But for me, The Killer is the one that I love the most. I think The Killer is just incredible. You know, when Raekwon talked about, yo, goes with my killer tape at. He was talking about The Killer, bro. You know what I mean? Talking about this movie right here. And this shit is phenomenal, man. You know, what I love about John Woo also, you know, he did all of these 80s action movies with the violence and the slow-mo and shit. But unlike a lot of action movies in the 80s, especially the American ones, this one had substance. It had the character development. It had the emotions, the drama, and everything. I mean, this is the total package. If you want to get, you know, a complete and great action movie, you know, that gives you a little bit of everything, watch this one. The Killer is just phenomenal, in my opinion. I love that movie to death, just like this one. King of Comedy. The King of Comedy, a Martin Scorsese film. This was, you know, you know, a huge departure from the movies that Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro would usually do, you know, because they usually made like gangster films and stuff, branched out and also did like a boxer drama and shit. But The King of Comedy was something I totally did not expect, and this movie is once again fantastic, yo. This movie is freaking awesome. I watched it once, and the one time I watched it, it left me blown away. I think this movie is highly underrated. It is a hidden gem, diamond of a movie, bro. Like, absolutely phenomenal, dope film, and not what you expect either, you know. because this is about a guy who, you know, who wants to become, you know, like I said, you're the king of comedy, and he's very persistent, and, you know, goes ways that, you know, a lot of other people wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, this is just a great movie about insanity, if I have to put it shortly, you know what I'm saying? About one person's insanity. Then we got King of New York. Abel Ferraro movie. King of New York, once again, hood movie. Also crime drama. Also great fucking film, man. I love King of New York to death. Yeah, has a lot of great actors in there, man. You got Lawrence Fishburne, you got David Caruso, Christopher Walken, Wesley Snipes, Steve Buscemi. I mean, you got an all-star cast in this. And yeah, this is one of the most underrated hood movies of all time. Of course, you know, Biggie named himself after, you know, the King of New York, after Christopher Walken, the Black Frank White, for those who don't know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I need to watch this one again, man. I really love that movie, bro. The beginning alone is just great, man. You know what I mean? The little drug deal where they kill off the the dealers, you know. Yeah. Next up, we got Escape from New York. Does it say anywhere that it's Escape from New York? Yeah, see, that's the shitty part with having German copies of some movies, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they give you the German titles but don't leave the English title somewhere. Whatever, it's Escape from New York though, you know. Snake Plissken, you know, one of the most iconic action movie characters of the 80s. John Carpenter, one of the greatest directors ever. It's been a while since I've watched the movie though. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have to watch it again. But from what I remember, I really like this one a lot, man. I think the last time I watched it, I think it was on DVD, and the copy that I had was really bad. It was like way too dark and shit. I couldn't make a lot of scenes out because the movie, for the most part, plays in the dark, you know what I'm saying? Like at nighttime. And then the picture quality itself was dark as shit. I couldn't tell what was what, you know what I'm saying? So I have to watch it again. From the little that I did see, I think I really like this movie a lot though. Yeah, next up we got Kong Skull Island. I think I showed the Godzilla movies already, and this one I think came in between Godzilla 1 and 2, or between Godzilla 2 and Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't know, man. It came somewhere between these three movies, and yeah, I really like this one a lot, man. I think actually I would say this is even better than the first Godzilla movie, because this one has some stunning visuals, bro. Like the movie looks absolutely beautiful. King Kong also, or Kong as he's called in the movie, is not King Kong yet. He's also great. Really, really, really love his design, man. And action, everything about this movie was great. I mean, of course, it's not high art or anything like that, man, but it's really enjoyable. It's a nice mainstream monster movie, and I really like it a lot. Then we got some more martial arts action in this, and this is a movie that I also have to watch again because it's been a while. But yeah, this is Kung Fu Hustle. This is another parody film. You know, it parodies the martial arts films. you know, just like Kung Pao, I think that one came also a couple of years before this one. And Kung Fu Hustle was just funny as hell, man. You know what I mean? You know, this movie has some really funny scenes, bro. Like the one, the Roadrunner scene where they make fun of, I think it was the Looney Tunes. Then also, one scene that really stood out for me when it comes to Kung Fu Hustle was the knife scene. For anyone who has seen the movie, that's probably their favorite scene in the movie too. The knife scene was just great, and the movie is just totally crazy, man. Like they have so many funny things in there, man. It's just fantastic, man. I mean, they borrow a lot from like these old, you know, comic shows and shit, and put it in this film and just made it a super unique and fun movie, which has not been duplicated until this day, man. This is still the only movie of its kind, you know. I really love it. Kung Fu Hustle was great. Then we got another 80s film, crime drama, To Live and Die in L.A. Yeah, once again, one of those movies that I have to watch again because it's been a while. The only thing that really stood out for me was Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe, who played the antagonist in this film, he was phenomenal, bro. I loved him in that movie, man. You know, but everything else surrounding the movie, I actually remember that I really liked it. You know what I'm saying? That was a grounded and very realistic cop drama. Really good stuff. And then we got Léon the Professional. It's directed by French action movie director Luc Besson, starring Jean Reno and I think Natalie Portman also. And yeah, Léon the Professional is another really amazing film. I think this one takes place in New York, I believe. And yeah, phenomenal action. Jean Reno, you know, did a great job as Léon. You know, Natalie Portman is also great. It was already a great actress in this film. She was always like a teenager back in the days. You see, and yeah, and I think this was the first movie that really kicked off. You know, the whole old man and young girl dynamic in movies. You know, like The Last of Us. You know, and things like that. Really, really dope film. Léon the Professional. You gotta check this one out if you haven't. It's one of the best action movies ever made. Then we got another series of movies, a collection right here. The Lethal Weapon collection. With Donald Glover and Mel Gibson. Bro, it's been way too long since I've seen these. I need to watch them again. But I do remember really loving these films, so yep. And then we got a really underrated film. Like this one, nobody talks about, but for me, this is such an underrated film, bro. Next Day Air. And once again, does it have the English title somewhere? Yeah, I think I've seen it. Focus, bitch. I don't know, it says it here. Next Day Air. But anyways, movie is really fun. You know what I'm saying? Really like this movie a lot. It's like a comedy / hood movie. You know, like a crime comedy movie-ish. You know what I'm saying? There's so many elements in there, man. Yeah, man, but really, really like this movie a lot, man. It's directed by Benny Boom, who did one of the worst biopics ever, All Eyes on Me. You know, the Tupac biopic. That was the same guy that directed this, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, and comparing these two, you know, it's like night and day. This movie, in my opinion, was great, you know? A lot of people did not like it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's one of the one of the worst rated films. Not one of the worst rated, but it's a badly rated film, and I don't get it. You know, I think the movie is too underrated, in my opinion. I think this one deserves a lot more credit. I think the movie is fun. You know, it's not high art, it's not amazing or mind-blowing or anything like that, man. But for what it is, it's really enjoyable, man. Like a really enjoyable comedy movie. With some lot of funny scenes in there, lots of witty humor and shit. Some good stuff, man. You know, good stuff. In my opinion, you know. Don't miss out on this, man. Next Day Air is a really, really well-made film, in my opinion. And then the last one we got here is Mad Max, The Road Warrior. It's the second Mad Max movie. Yeah, here. It says here. Focus again. It says here, The Road Warrior. Yeah, Mad Max, The Road Warrior. Love the movie. I would say out of the original Mad Max trilogy, this is definitely my favorite. The first one being my second favorite, and Beyond the Thunderdome is definitely my least favorite, I think. Beyond the Thunderdome, I tried to watch it twice and fell asleep every time, man. You know what I mean? But Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, is really, really well done with some really, really crazy stunts for its time, you know what I mean? Like the action set pieces and shit, like the way they did the action back in the days, you know, was really, looked really dangerous, bro. Like it was in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Like in the 80s, and some of the action that they did, you know, was very, very dangerous, you know what I'm saying? But in the end it paid off, you know, and this movie turned out to be, you know, the best one out of the three. With starring Mel Gibson, at least. And the movie is really amazing, in my opinion. Dope shit. Love it. And yeah, that was part 4 of my Blu-ray collection. Comment. You know, let me know what you think about these films. If you want to keep up with my shit here, you know, subscribe if you want to. But yeah, hopefully I won't take as much time to return with part 5, but with me, you never know, man. I'm not trying to tell when I will be back. It just depends, bro. It depends. You know, this was not planned either, you know. I just decided to, you know, make a video. And so I did, you know what I'm saying? And then sorry guys, excuse me for, you know, for collecting my thoughts every once in a while, and you know, with these little mishaps. I'm always thinking about other shit, you know, and I can't really concentrate, you know, that much. You know, but I'm trying my best to to give some valuable commentary every once in a while, you know, but I'm not that great at it, you know. I'm just doing YouTube like every few months, you know. I'm just not deep into the material like that, but I'm trying my best, you know what I mean? But yeah, for anyone who understands, thank you very much, you know, I appreciate it. For everybody else, sorry that I cannot please you guys, you know, but it is what it is though, you know. I'm just grateful that you guys are watching, you know, leaving your likes and comments and stuff. If someone comments, you know, I don't really get those a lot. For me, I really like to nerd out about things, you know, and I would always appreciate you guys leaving some comments, man. You know, it helps with the engagement, you know what I'm saying? I like to engage with people on this YouTube space and talk about things with them, you know. And if you want to send me some movie recommendations, leave it, you know what I'm saying? I'm open for recommendations, bro. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'm gonna cut it off right here, man. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon again. But yeah, take care, guys, and have a good one. Deuces.